I'm Shannon. I'm also known as TabaldoOnTech on Twitter. You might follow me there. If you might follow my podcast as well, I have a podcast that I co-host called the My Tech Toolbelt Podcast. I'm recently taking on a new adventure, and my new kind of hobby, if you will, has been two things that I've been really interested in. As I'm a professor and I'm a teacher, former teacher. I recently had an accident where I broke my elbow. I was not able to type, and as someone who teaches online courses and it does a lot in technology and education, typing was something that was very important to me. And so I was able to get a 2019 iPad Pro. And in late January of 2019 was when I actually broke my elbow. And I transitioned 100% to voice typing on the iPad Pro and handwriting. I broke my left arm, and luckily I'm right-handed, so I was still able to write. Through this YouTube presence and videos, I hope to share some of the things that I've learned and why I've transitioned to about 95% iPad. I have access to laptops, MacBooks, MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros. I also have my iMacs here. I have pretty much, even in my office, almost exclusively work off of my iPad. There are some times when I need to be doing multiple things where I will work on my big iMac, but for the most part, I really try to be 100% on my iPad Pro. So Paperless and the iPad Pro was kind of one thing that I was already moving towards being paperless in my life. I was moving towards being paperless as a teacher, as a professor. I decided to kind of put those two together very naturally. So I started kind of documenting that paperless professor, if you will, and what that looks like in my workflow and finding the right apps, paid and free, transitioning out of a lot of books to be more digital. The handwriting, the note-taking, all of that has moved to almost, 100% on the iPad in my personal and in my professional life. So that was kind of one piece of the puzzle. The other piece of the puzzle that I've been doing in just my own life is minimalizing, is learning to live with less, learning to live with things that are the most important things for me, things that really bring me joy and happiness, and eliminating a lot of the excess clutter. This came about in two kind of phases for me. The first phase came 6 years ago, and just kind of shedding a lot of the excess stuff that was going to remain in my home. So kind of going through that type of cleansing process. That happened about 6 years ago, and it was a great start. As I began to go through on my personal journey to move towards getting a doctorate and just really taking on that responsibility in addition to kind of some of the other household and full-time jobs and podcasting and blogging and all of the other things that I do, I realized that there was some more shedding that needed to happen. And so I not only personally, physically of things minimalized, but I began to realize that I had a lot of digital baggage, both literally and figuratively. And so I began to minimalize my digital life as well. And so for me, that meant downsizing, kind of moving away from carrying around my MacBook Pro all the time and my iPad, and just exclusively moving to the iPad. It meant minimalizing my tech bag, which has, there is a video that will be posted on that. And so part of this journey has really been this digital minimalism that I'm trying to have. What does my workflow look like? Where do I keep my personal stuff, personal paperwork? But I store almost everything digitally. I scan everything. And I try to keep everything really at my fingertips, and staying organized and finding the right workflow for you is really key. I've tried a lot of different things over the last year, and I've really come up with a good workflow that works for me. But I've also found and follow enough folks that are well into organization and well into minimalism, do the traveling that I do. I've tried to kind of take all of these key tips, apply them to what works for me without buying a lot more stuff, because I already have a lot of stuff. And so I find that I can repurpose some things. There are some things that I have purchased that consolidates some of the bulk that I've had. All of those things together are making my life happier. It's making my time when I'm present with my family much more valuable, and it's making my workflow much more efficient. And so those are the things that I hope that I can share with you. A lot of it won't be new. It'll just be maybe more specific to you if you're an educator, or you if you want to go iPad only, or if you want to go paperless. All of those things might spark interest in you. So it's new for me. Hopefully the videos will get better, the quality will get better. Thank you. Subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you want to learn about. And if it's something I don't know, I'll learn right along with you, because I'm a lifelong learner. So again, I'm Shannon. I am TabaldoOnTech, also known as the Paperless Professor. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me at the podcast, My Tech Tool Belt Podcast. So thank you so much. Peace.